Yeah. Yeah, yeah. He said he didn't hit his head. He hit his back and neck. But then, yeah, he said it was a little sore last night, but he woke up. He was fine. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, he was fine. How'd the game end?
Second quarter, 2-1.
Oh, okay. Nice. We're getting ready to start up against Windy City. Sorry about the abrupt drop earlier. I was on the Wi-Fi when I walked in the building, and I started the live, and I got a note that said if I didn't stop broadcasting in 5 minutes, they were gonna destroy my YouTube channel. So I had to drop off and then get off the Wi-Fi and then come back on. So roster for today, we're going to be short Brady Aldridge and Blake Seidel, both still injured. Seidel with the shoulder and Aldridge with the hip. So we'll be cheering on from the sidelines. We're going to start out with Campbell and Onak at D, Reynolds, Paulo, and Chalicki for a forward group. The Storm team haven't heard a lot about, but they've done well this weekend. Face off in feet. Reynolds able to push it forward, and puck comes over to Paulo, who dumps it in. Puck off of the boards, knocked away and into the corner. Paulo gets that up to Onak. Onak keeps it in and back down to Paulo. Paulo tips it to Chilicki. Chilicki tried to get it past to Reynolds. Still on the boards. Reynolds gets there. Puck gets hit. Onak does a nice job knocking that puck away, but Storm bring it into the neutral zone and dump it. Go for a change. Campbell gets it forward for Chilicki. Chilicki dumps it in. Reynolds goes on pressure. Puck comes to the near board. Nietzsche is on him and squirts loose. Reynolds tries to get that over to Miller. Miller and Rybicki out on D. Pulauskas, Nietzsche, and Letcher have come on for offense. Storm push through the neutral zone and get it deep in. Rybicki tried to get that over to the far board. Storm intercepts and puts it in front of Cutting. Oh, I apologize, Cutting in net today for the game. Pulauskas knocks the puck away. Storm still maintain control and go behind the net. Up the near board, into the neutral zone. Storm put it in, go for a change. One man on. Rybicki gets that over to Letcher. Letcher gets tied up. Puck goes behind the net. Miller ahead for Pulauskas. Pulauskas tries to get that out to Letcher. Puck into the neutral zone. Pulauskas grabs it. Kushkowski's coming on. Shot wide. Kushkowski keeps it in. Puts it into the corner. Letcher's there. Carter's come on. Prisgintis and Onak at D. Nice pass by Letcher to Carter. Carter gets a puck knocked away. Credidio comes on. Prisgintis up to Kushkowski, bounces off of his stick and over to the Storm. Storm get it over to the board and shot on. Pushed aside by Cutting. Carter pushes to Credidio. Credidio tries to pass over to Kush, but it gets knocked aside. Credidio hard on the back check, harassing the Storm player to dump it. Puck goes to Prisgintis. Prisgintis, puck bounces off of Credidio back to Prisgintis. Shot high, blocked into the corner. Carter puts it in deep. Credidio gets a body on, and puck goes to the corner. Storm breakout and through the neutral zone. Good job by Onak to push his guy wide. Steps into the passing lane. Storm still have it, and then gets knocked away, and Onak controls. Kruger comes on. Onak through the zone. Shot high and off the glass over to the far board. Kruger keeps hold of it and dumps it. Bergeron comes on. Good job by Kruger to slow them down. Bergeron gets tied up. Brown is on. Puck gets passed and into the zone. Cutting slows it down for Campbell. Campbell and Rybicki out at D. Puck chipped forward for Brown. Kept in and put back in deep by Windy City. Kruger all alone. Gets a shot off of a pad and to the board. Puck bounces over to Rybicki. Rybicki to Campbell. Campbell cross for Brown. Brown brings it in. Gets a shot on, bounce off of the stick and behind. Kruger is there. Kruger and Brown working. Puck over to Brown. Back to Kruger. Kruger gets it out to Bergeron, but intercepted by Storm. Storm push forward and then dump it back in. Cutting up to Brown. Brown cross for Bergeron. Bergeron dumps it and goes for a change. Brown goes for a change. Chilicki comes on. Kruger putting pressure while we change. Puck in feet for Chilicki, and he puts it back down deep. Reynolds has come out. Miller and Prisgintis at D. Storm cross-ice pass. They dump it in. Cutting, pushing over to Chilicki. Chilicki chipping forward. Storm keep it in and bounces off of Chilicki over to Reynolds. Reynolds gloves it down, circling. Has Chilicki, hits Chilicki's stick, it's going down. And icing. Pretty sure that hit Chilicki, but we're gonna get an icing and it'll go back into the defensive zone. 11:52 remaining in the first. Still 0-0. Paulo takes the draw. Wins that over to Miller. Miller for Prisgintis. Prisgintis lets it go, and it goes over to Chilicki. Chilicki looking for Reynolds. Storm push it back. And, almost there for Paulo as he got in the lane, just didn't get on it. Storm bring it in. That's offsides. They got to tag back up. Prisgintis. Up for Reynolds. Reynolds chipping for Chilicki. Intercepted by Storm. Storm got it in the zone again. Storm seems to be trying to just dump the puck in and get pressure, but so far Fury's been able to handle the puck and get it out of the zone. Storm again chip in and go for a change. Quick changes from Storm. Fury dump it in on net. Letchers come out, covered, and we'll get a change. Onak and Campbell come out at D. Pulauskas, Nietzsche, and Letcher on offense. 10:56 to go in the first. Nietzsche. Puck controlled by Storm. It goes into the opposite corner. They go D to D. Pulauskas giving pressure. Misses everybody, and we'll get an icing call. Storm looking for that stretch pass. Just misses, and it's going to come back down. Puck controlled by Fury. Onak puts it down behind the net. Nietzsche's there. Pulauskas comes to help. Storm get it up on the far board and bring it into the neutral zone. Good stick by Onak, and then hits his man into the official. The puck comes over to Letcher. Letcher's got space. He's got Nietzsche with him. Puts it forward. Nietzsche passing to, Pulauskas was there for the back door. Just got hit by a Storm stick. Kept in by Letcher. Letcher trying to get that over to Pulauskas. Caillou's gonna go in for that trip. Coming down on the stick lift, and he got his foot. So we're on the kill. Paulo and Reynolds come out. Campbell and Onak stay. Puck in feet. Storm go D to D. Get the cutter. Tip in front. Goes wide. Over to Paulo. Paulo gets it out. Bounces over the stick of the defenseman. Storm set up. Reynolds comes in to apply pressure. Over to the far board. Paulo hits Onak's stick and goes out of play. Letcher and Nietzsche come out. Minute 32 remaining on the kill. 9:39 in the period. Storm win that forward. Campbell gets there and leaves it for Onak. Onak through the middle of the ice and all the way down. Storm goaltender comes out, and Nietzsche gets tied up and runs into the goaltender. Puck back into the neutral zone, and Windy City has to reset up. Rybicki and Miller have come out. Paulo has come out. Letcher still remains. Good job by Letcher to get that puck. Storm still trying to bring it through the neutral zone. Haven't been able to yet. Storm over on the near board working against Miller. Back up to G. Good job by Paulo to force a pass down. Miller gets in the way of that attempt by Storm, and the puck makes its way to Reynolds. Reynolds gets the puck out. Storm reset up, 23 seconds remaining in the kill. Paulo does a nice job of making them slow down. Puck through the neutral zone, they've got 3. Pass. And a little flub, pass goes into the corner. Cutting catches that one off, and there is a second remaining. Pulauskas will come out, and looks like we're going to try to spring Carter off of the bench. Kushkowski wins that draw over to Onak. Onak sends it down, but Carter went back into the zone instead of straight out. Carter working on the near board. Storm got a hold of it. Centering pass shot blocked by Przgintis. Przgintis takes a hit in the corner, but Storm just dump it back in. Onak ahead for Credidio. Credidio tips it, but well ahead of the red line and gonna go for icing. 7:40 remaining in the first. Still 0-0. Fury successfully kill off the penalty, and everybody's even. Storm, shot goes wide and over the far board. Credidio didn't get there in time, but Onak gets a stick on it. Kushkowski battling, gets it out of the zone, harassing Storm. Storm, an errant pass. Credidio gets a hold of it and dumps it in. Goaltender throws a pick on Carter. Storm get it into the neutral zone, but comes over to Carter again. Carter backhands the puck back in. Credidio now into the corner. Carter bounces past him. Storm get one guy through. Przgintis is there, slows him down. Carter gets a glancing hit. Storm has to dump it in, and they go for a change. Campbell gets that up to Kushkowski. Kushkowski high and into the score table. And Fury will get a change. Campbell and Rybicki at D. Kruger, Brown, Bergeron come out. 6:46 to go in the first. Kruger wins that back to Campbell. Campbell hard off of the glass to Bergeron. Storm touch it, it goes in. Brown's in the corner. Chips it across behind the net. Bergeron ties up his man. Puck comes loose to Brown. Brown looking for space to Bergeron. Bergeron gets pinned. Kruger comes in to help. Kruger to Brown. Gets knocked aside. Storm going the other way. Kruger gets back. Brown is there to help. Puck hits some skates. Still in feet. Cutting, save, and covers. Nietzsche, Pulauskas, and Letcher coming out. Rybicki and Campbell remain at D. Face-off won by Nietzsche. Campbell gets a hold of it. Puts it in on net. It bounces in front. Pulauskas snows the goaltender and a little bit of pushing and shoving. Storm didn't like that. Ref reminds him that you gotta let the player stop. Nietzsche pushes that puck to the side. Letcher gets a stick on it. Rybicki pushes it back in. Battling in the corner. Nietzsche comes over to help. Campbell gets in front of it, able to keep it in, but everybody kind of backed off. Rybicki makes a move and brings it in, gets it over to Letcher. Letcher back to Nietzsche. Nietzsche to Letcher. Letcher looking for space, gets the puck over to Nietzsche. Nietzsche and Pulauskas on the sideboard. Pulauskas came loose, but the puck gets knocked away. Over to Rybicki. Rybicki shot high, bouncing over to the near board. Pulauskas gets a stick on it. Storm able to get it out. Campbell gets it up to Pulauskas. Pulauskas has Nietzsche with him. Shot saved by Storm. The rebound bounces back to a Storm player. Doesn't quite get over to Nietzsche, who is on the other side. They fire it in and get a change. Fury starts to get a change. Paulo is out. Reynolds is out. Prisgintis and Miller at D. Chilicki's come out. Puck bounces over to Paulo. Paulo to Miller. Miller off of the boards over to Chilicki. Chilicki puts it down for Reynolds. Reynolds gets pushed out of the way. Storm try to go out. Chilicki just misses that puck. Puck comes over to Prisgintis. Prisgintis gets it to Reynolds, and nobody touches it, and they're going to call icing. 4:29 to go in the first, still 0-0. Puck in feet comes over to Reynolds. Reynolds out, tries to get it up to Chilicki. Kept by Paulo. Paulo, Chilicki chips forward. Paulo gets that pass, takes a hit. Reynolds doesn't quite get all of it, and Storm clear. Prisgintis to Chilicki. Chilicki got a skate on it, so no icing on that one. Puck over to the far board. Storm, good job by Paulo to tie him up. Go back behind the net. Chilicki comes in. Missed shot, missed pass otherwise, and comes to the near board. Storm try to go across ice, hits the official in the skate, gets tied up. Puck, Paulo, and Pulauskas battling in the corner. Miller comes in to help. Reynolds standing in front, Chilicki on the boards. Puck still can't move. Miller ties up in on the sideboard. Puck goes back to the corner, comes up to Prisgintis. Prisgintis gets it out. Storm have to tag back up. Krzyzkowski comes out. Puck gets knocked in the air. He drops it down. Chilicki shot. Rebound in front. Chilicki another shot. Blocker save over to Onak. Onak shot high and into the netting. Didio, Carter, Pulauskas, Onak, and Campbell. 3 minutes to go in the period, 0-0. Storm get fresh legs out. Carter takes the draw. Storm win it back. Carter goes into the corner, ties up his guy, goes to Credidio. Credidio trying to get that up to Campbell. Doesn't quite get there, but Carter able to keep it in. Carter working in the corner. Credidio able to knock a guy off of a puck. Kush tries to center. Storm get in the way and go the opposite direction. Storm puts one on, and Cutting is just going to hold on to it. Face-off controlled by Storm. They try to get a pass to the back door. Intercepted by Fury. Onak now carrying through the zone. With speed, leaves it for Carter. Carter shot low, rebound into the corner. Onak is there. Krzyzkowski comes to help. Carter ties it up. Storm can't move it off of Carter. Krzyzkowski comes back in. Onak goes for a change. Miller comes out. Krzyzkowski winds up with it. Over to Campbell. Campbell leaves it for Kush. Kush backhand shot. Goes wide and into the boards. Storm get it out. No icing. Campbell behind the net. Leaves it for Miller. Miller up for Credidio. Credidio chips. And It goes out and through the netting. Minute 39 to go in the period. Kruger, Bergeron, Brown, Miller, and Rybicki are out. Kruger wins that back to Miller. Miller to Rybicki, back to Miller. Brown stumbles. It's the second Fury player to take a stumble on the ice. Puck gets in. Over to the near board, chipped forward for Brown. Brown has some space. Over for Rybicki. Rybicki brings it in. Bergeron does a nice job holding the line. Shot goes off pad. Bergeron, nice job blocking that pass out. Kruger comes in to help. Storm go the opposite direction. Good job by Rybicki. Gets in the way. Puck in front. Over the corner. Bergeron goes in. Kept in. Puck comes out. Brown wins the battle. Gets it over to Miller. Miller across the red line and brings it in. Leaves it for Kruger. Kruger's shot goes high and wide over to Rybicki. Rybicki down for Brown. Brown with some space. Tries to chip that over to Bergeron. It does get there. Bergeron gets tied up. Brown in to help. Puck comes over to Brown. Brown gets it to Bergeron. Bergeron in the corner. Leaves it for Kruger. Kruger gets the puck off of the board. Hits a stick of Storm. Goes up. Bergeron gets there and goes back up for Miller. Miller goes in. Brown covers. Brown gets it to Rybicki. Brown changes, and Letcher comes on. Bergeron going for a change. 7 seconds. Kruger has it tied up behind the net. And